them going over the curvature of the Earth, right? We were all taught it in elementary school.
Yep.
You know, well, if the horizon itself is supposed to be the physical curvature of the Earth, then how is it able to change such drastic distances?
Change distances. As in where the horizon appears.
How far are we able to see to the horizon on one day versus another?
So the argument on that is that there is the phenomenon of refraction in which you can see further because of the different types of thermal patterns further into the distance.
I've never. Can you cite a source for that information that you just gave us there?
Yeah, it's pretty much the Fata Morgana effect.
No, that's not true.
Give you
because Fata Morganas talk about objects in relation to the horizon, does it not? That's why I'm asking you to provide a citation, because there's a like I was telling the other guy, there's a way that we've learned to have this conversation, and people aren't pushed on, backing up what they're saying or providing citations or sources.
Totally agree. Which is why I didn't get into it. And I also said earlier that I'm not. I didn't even know the circumference of the Earth. Right? I don't remember it. We learned it. I've forgotten it. Whatever. So I don't know enough to be able to debate on that level. But I can look at the images on the videos that have been presented as evidence for a phenomenon, and then I can ask a question on that, which is what I wanted to do. And my point is, and my question more than a point is, why in the image on the right, if it's taken from, as the videographer is suggesting, the same location, different days, therefore you've got different weather, you've got different conditions, tides. The image on the right shows the platform habitat sunk into the water. So it is, you see less than half of it. And on the one on the left, you see pretty much all of it. How is that possible on a flat Earth model?
I'll tell you. Number one, well, for me, I would say to someone, stop thinking in terms of a flat Earth model. I'm not modeling out anything. At least for this observation, the only thing I'm doing is taking the information that we live on a sphere, and I'm trying to validate that is the case. So if that's not the case, it's not like I have a model that explains why it's not doing that and it's doing something else instead. I'm not going to have that. But to explain what's going on, why there's a difference in the photos is, number one, if you look at the videos, the waves are much higher in the one where the first habitat seems to be obstructed.
There are no waves. The water's calm.
You didn't see the video. See, bro. Like when I'm saying what I'm
picture. I'm looking at the photo, the image itself. It's got
so if I take a screenshot of the beginning of the original, hold on. So if I take a screenshot of the original Black Swan, and then I take a screenshot of the video with the other image, and it basically shows what I'm saying. Are we going to be good to move forward?
Just the timestamps on the video would do.
All right, well, give me a second.
Sure.
So second of all, it's off the coast of California, and there's a big dip that happens there, and so when the water is coming in, sometimes I forget what to call it because I'm not like an expert on the terminology behind all of this stuff either.
That's cool.
But
I can look it up. Just point it out.
The water level is higher on some days than other days.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
that's totally understandable. And that's, I mean, you get tides everywhere. But what I'm saying is that it's not just higher; it's submerged the platform. So that would technically be in the water.
It's because it's his angle to it. Because whereas, okay, you know what? I'll show you.
Yeah,
Give me a second. I'll show you.
Sure.
Can I ask a question
Yeah,
related to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just go. We could go the other way around and say that picture A, that because of the conditions, it's not that the platform in picture B is submerged into the water. It's that the platform in picture A is lifted up by the conditions. I'm just saying it could go both ways. You
guys do understand that both of those pictures are beating the shit out of your 1.225 miles. That it's
Yeah,
supposed.
that's a different argument. That's a red herring. It's
Well, it's the
beyond
same
the.
argument.
You're right.
It's
You're
the
right.
same argument, actually.
But I've already
Because you're
admitted and
saying
said
what's
that. Yeah, but
okay,
sorry, Elijah. I already said in the beginning that the 9.4 miles and 6.2 miles already, yes, beat the shit out of the 1.22 miles expected horizon. So that's already. I've already pressed. I don't know if anyone else wants to argue that. I need to do my research to go on and explain why that's the case, and you can see that. Maybe I'll turn out to be a flat earther by the end of the day. But the idea is that that's put to the side because I can't speak on that, right? I'm just speaking on what you can visually see on both those two pictures and how you compare them.
Are you completely ignoring the still I put in at 54 minutes that comes from the video right below it called Magnification by the same person, BMSLB, where you can see the actual conditions? He's 1 foot off the surface of the water as well, just like picture A. But
Gotcha.
most people I've talked to have not even looked at the original video where picture B comes from, yet you want to come here and say that, oh, because this and that, without even
This and that.
looking at the information.
Say this and that. Okay.
Yeah, this
Sorry,
and that.
I don't think you're in a. You're not really making much sense about what your argument is here. You've posted another screenshot from another video which shows conditions where the platform habitat is also submerged, so to speak.
That's another screenshot from picture B, the video that picture B was taken.
Yeah. Okay, but what's the point of that?
So the point is you're ignoring where the original where that photo came from, the original video came from. So you're just ignoring the actual data, the information from the where the picture came from.
Not ignoring, and don't go with ad hominem. I didn't ignore anything. You understand what ad hominem is, right? You're questioning my motive and something about me as to what my position is.
Yeah, look,
I didn't notice your image, and I'm happy to look at it.
You didn't see it, but do you want, now that you do see it, what do you have anything to say about? I mean, you can see it's obviously a really crummy weather day, really windy, high waves. It can.
And that's what my question was. That's why I asked, what do you mean by that picture? Now that I've seen it, what's your point on that picture? And you're suggesting that it's the weather conditions.
Yeah,
so
you need to look at the original video. Go in the original video.
I've asked Elijah to show me the timestamps where he's already said that the weather conditions would probably explain that situation. So once I see those, then I can speak on it.
You have the timestamp on the photo I put in the still that I put. The timestamp is right there, and the name of the original video and the original video is right below it.
So we've already had this conversation with Elijah, so I'll wait for him to post his timestamps.
Yeah, when you have them in front of you already. Okay, great.
No, I don't like your tone, so I'll wait for Elijah. Thanks.
I would agree with you, Domino, that the atmosphere here in the room is a little amped up and a little energized, and I'll agree with you on that.
I'm sure you guys have. Well, maybe you haven't, but if you've ever listened into this into the live stream here before, we got different kinds of people. Some get really heated really fast, and others can kind of keep their cool a little bit better. I don't know what to tell you. You know, like, we got a lot of people in here, and everybody's trying to jump in, so it's not always going to go smooth.
Oh, for sure. 35 people. It's gonna happen. Definitely.
It will not happen if people honest.
What did you say?
It will not happen anything if people are only honest, nothing else. But if people start to assume, imagine, or presume, or to doing fallacies, then people starting to be nervous here, including me.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to
Including me.
agree with, I wanted to agree with Domino on his point about the ad hominem, because nobody knows his motives, why he's here, what he wants to know, what he's like, his angle on this, where he's coming from. Like, nobody knows. So that's an assumption on whoever said those things about him. So I completely agree.
But who said anything about him?
I know it said what things. The ad hominem's
Oh.
been presumed.
No, okay, well, maybe it wasn't an ad hominem specifically, but like that he is ignoring this, that, and the other. Like it may not actually be the case, you know.
But he's literally ignoring it right now because he's waiting for it to be posted by a different person. So he's ignoring what's there until someone else posts the same thing. It's literally what's happening right now.
Well, no, yeah, I did say that I was gonna post to him these screenshots, but I'm realizing that the waves can look the same in either video. So my point on that is lost. So I'll just retract that point.
Sorry, mate. I just
What?
popped onto the call. I was just away from the desk for a minute. Well, I didn't get that.
No, I said I reviewed both videos, and in
Yeah.
both videos, you can see the waves kind of do the same thing. So whatever I thought initially, I would have to retract that. So
Cool. Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
So I'm
Okay,
retracting that. But there's something called shoaling. There's a number of things that it could have been. I don't really have, an answer other than the horizon is not 1.2 miles away.
Yeah,
Being a
yeah. Look, I agree on that. That looks that to me as well. That doesn't. I wouldn't have expected to see that. You see what I mean? With my understanding of the world being round, I would have expected that not to be a thing. So I'm going to look into that as well. Like, why the hell would that be the case? So
yeah, but when
Yeah.
in terms of refraction, if
Is
you
that-
actually look into it, other than people on YouTube saying this video or this image from this person, this is a straw man, or this is an invalid argument, or blah 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 blah, because of refraction. Because see, that doesn't say that the argument is invalid. What it's saying is
That's right.
here's a justification for why the error is there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that being said, the justification being refraction. If you look into how refraction is defined, it's even talking about Snell's law. What they're
Oh,
talking
you broke up there.
about.
Sorry, Elijah, you broke up there. I didn't hear what you were saying.
So refraction has to deal with Snell's law.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that's right.
the angle of light when passing from one medium to another changes. So it's not
That's right.
actually that it's bending at the rate of curvature that would be 7/6R, which is something that people have made up ad hoc to explain the things that flat earthers, are giving, things that have been hard to see it. This is
Yeah,
where
I mean, look, I see what you're saying, but I mean, I've worked with optical fiber tech way when it was first being developed, right? And the whole concept of refraction is exactly how it works. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So I get the concept.
Refraction is real. Like I said, refraction is real. I know how it's defined. How the globe earthers try to use it as 7/6R with theoretical light rays, right? When I say theoretical light rays, there's no such thing as a beam of light.
Oh, Elijah, you're breaking up real bad right now, man.
There's no such thing as a beam of light that doesn't diverge. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Okay, so mathematically, they use beams of light that don't diverge to hypothetically explain how light would bend in a homogeneous medium. In one
yeah,
medium.
yeah.
We
Look,
know refraction exists, but the type of refraction that would be needed to explain the observations that we're able to make is an impossibility. Like it's way beyond any demonstration of refraction that you could ever come up with.
well, I mean, I need proof on that, right? So what I said was I need to look into it to understand and do the maths on it, because I haven't had the time to. And while I've gone and skimmed and read up on it recently over the last
Just-
couple of 2 or 3 days, I'll need to spend more time to confirm that for myself, confirm it mathematically, and see if what
How
we're
can I
seeing
help
there
you
is
out with it?
possible. Yeah,
I can help
yeah.
you out with that.
I don't have time to do that now. I'm literally cooking something. I got to step out in about an hour or two.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can get like. So remember when I said it's important to get citations and sources? Well,
Yep.
everything that the globe believers will bring up about refraction.
Yeah.
Vaguely comes from a misunderstanding from Andrew Thomas Young's paper. Because they're not pulling this information from anywhere else. That's why I always ask, well, do you have a citation? Because they either heard it from someone, which it was misinterpreted. That's the only option, unless there's some other paper somewhere. So the point is, I'm gonna send you this PDF. And it
Sweet.
basically goes through how they try to apply refraction to the atmosphere, the math behind it, the assumptions behind it, and you'll see that what I'm saying is true. And if you, like you said, you don't like logical fallacies and things like that, so these assumptions would have to be a problem for you. So I'll send you that as soon as possible.
Yeah, shoot across. Look, I get the topic is very emotional on both sides, because it's I think people's worldview suddenly changes because someone else has a different idea. That's a bit shaky. But like I said before, if you can provide evidence then I can't refute in any way, like me or anyone else can refute, then I'm changing my mind. I mean, there's no discussion about it. Is this the PDF, yeah? The experiment description final version?
Wait, I didn't post it, so I don't know.
Oh, no, someone else did. Sorry, okay. Came
Yeah,
from the bot. I don't know how.
That's the 25-mile laser test done by the FE Corps. Field engineers. Don't
Yeah,
get
I saw something about.
FE isn't doesn't stand for flat Earth. It's field.
No. Okay. Yeah, I saw something about that laser test. I didn't get time to read enough about it to discuss it, so I'll just read up on it first before getting into it.
You got to get into the. You know what? Like, what are video? Because coming into the topic right now, like if you're looking at the information in a vacuum, like if you're just looking at everything right now, then everything might make sense. But then, like say, because we have the Black Swan now, but something that might be jarring is going back prior the Black Swan argument. So like 2019, anytime before that, 2015, all of this old stuff. And you'd be surprised to see that their position, supposed position on the Black Swan, because I can't really get their position because they never give any citation. So their position is exactly the opposite of what it used to be back then, because they need the geometry to say the things that they say, like, oh, this building is missing due to the curvature of the Earth. This mountain is missing. This boat is missing due to the curvature, due to the obstruction of the horizon that starts right here.
Basically,
that's what they used to say. Now they don't.
Basically, pre-Black Swan, they were saying that the horizon was the physical edge, and then Black Swan came out and they said nobody ever claimed that the horizon was the physical edge. Like nobody ever said that.
I get that, but I can't argue for what someone else has said or hasn't said, changed position. It doesn't look good on them. Yes, I agree. But without an admission and an admission or at least a concession that, I was wrong, then they really can't change their position. And if they have, that's on them. But I can't argue for their sake. I don't even know who they is. But anyway, guys,
talking about the zealots from Jump Panda's server that we argue with day in and day out. They just pretend things that yesterday didn't ever get said. It's every day is start fresh.
I don't know who they are. Sorry.
Oh, good,
But I
good
get-
for you. Keep it that way.
It sounds like it. Look, I don't care what your beliefs are, so long as you can debate something based on logic and reason, I'll talk with you. But if you don't do that, then I'm not interested. Anyway, guys, look, I appreciate the mature, respectful debate. I'm definitely going to pop in again if you'll have me again for more conversation. I think I'll definitely need to read up on some of this stuff. And Elijah, if you can send that PDF, mate, I'll go over it.
You sound
Well,
like an honest person, so I think you'll get far in this.
Yeah,
who
I
knows?
sent you
Who knows
one.
where I'll end up?
So I send you because I post it all the time. I sent you one part of it. So I mean, just reading it, I mean, you can begin to see like, well, there are a lot of things in here that I would have to validate or understand, like why they're saying that this is the case.
Yeah.
I'll make it brief. I just want to read this. So some people have worried about how to apply the refraction law to such a horizontal ray of light. There's that thing that I was saying was theoretical, because it does not cross any horizontal boundaries between denser and less dense air in a stratified atmosphere. In general, the curvature of the ray is different from the curvature of the Earth's surface. There's that 7/6 of the radius of the Earth that I was talking about. But here we are only concerned with rays that bend just enough to follow the curve of the Earth. The simple solution to the horizontal ray paradox is to remind ourselves that rays are an unrealistic mental construct. In reality, we always have a beam of light. Infinitely narrow rays don't really exist. So basically what they're saying is this is a way to conceptualize what we think is actually going on in Earth. But he's basically saying it's not reality.
Yeah, look, the issue around light, I mean, and its whole, even the duality of the nature of light has been debated and challenges various fronts as far as how things appear and why things do occur. So I get it that it's not a particular approach is used as a model, as an approximation to explain a phenomenon, and then it may just fall off the edge, so to speak, pun not intended, that doesn't prove what they would. Well, it actually looks like it's debunking what they were trying to prove. Okay, now I'm going to definitely go over this
like
stuff.
every article everywhere, right? Like you have an article that's titled one thing, and at the very end of the article is some information that's contradictory to the whole thing. But sometimes they straight up say, we don't have direct evidence of this yet, but we're hoping. Like they'll say shit like that, even though the title of the article says, we found direct evidence. Like, you know what I mean?
Man, have you seen the video of those two? I can't remember. Was it the Weinstein and someone else? They did a video where they were showing like thousands of studies, which are just utter bullshit, and they get peer reviewed and they get signed off and they get accepted as fact. Yeah,
I've heard
they had a Joe Rogan podcast. I think they were talking about it as well, and it was embarrassing. Oh shit! I'm sorry, I just pressed the button for no reason.
Oh, please send me that if you can, because I was looking for. I know that there's like
taken off his podcast off YouTube, so I don't know if I can find it on YouTube anymore. He's on Spotify now.
What? Really?
I thought that was what he was doing. I know he's still got content on YouTube, but I think he moved. I might be wrong, but anyway, I'll check it out and see if he's. I know he's got the JRE clips, and they're all like 5 minutes, 10 minutes here that I'm seeing. Shit, I can't remember the two guys. And they were literally going around proposing and getting grants for bullshit studies that they were posting and getting peer reviewed. And they were giving examples of how fucking fraudulent the system is. Anyway. Add to the M and so now that I just hit a button and that's a macro on my mouse and it just posted an M. That's not what I intended to type.
QE was sorry for the wind. It's making it. Yeah, the wind is making it sound like I'm breaking up. But QE was cluing me in on how like I think it was over 95% of the supposed research papers out there aren't actually backed by the actual scientific method at all. Like nothing was tested or studied in an experimental setup in any way. And I'm like, how could that be?
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I mean, it's
It's called pseudoscience.
yeah. No, it definitely is. Well, look, guys, I do have to run again. Thanks for the good discussion and the good debate. It'd be good to keep it this way, and I'll pop in again and hopefully hassle you guys for more info.
I appreciate you being here, and thank you for giving me a shot. I know you heard how I must have sounded pretty frustrated with the other kid, but
yeah, dude, like I said, it comes across as a religion, man. That's the problem, and on both sides. So I'm not saying FE is a religion. I'm saying Globe and FE, and people are just very emotionally connected to it. And I think it doesn't allow them to stop and go, okay, wait a second, maybe this is wrong, because I didn't come up with the idea of the globe, so it's got nothing to do with me as a person. Like, even if I'm wrong, it doesn't. How does it affect me? It's like I don't give a shit. If I have to fly a plane, okay, I fly the plane because the map show me where to go. It doesn't make a difference what the Earth is like as a shape.
Well,
So,
I can maybe give you an idea as to why some are emotionally charged.
Yeah.
You've heard of gaslighting, right?
Yeah.
That's what we've been for I don't know
I
how
actually
many
used to
years.
do it all the time.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
where like some of us have been to university. I haven't. I'm just a person who likes
Okay.
to read. But
Yeah.
a lot of us have scientific backgrounds, and they've had specific questions. And we've talked to PhDs in various things. We spoke to engineers, all types of people from different walks of life. And the bottom line is, we all came here because we realized there was a question that didn't have an answer for it. And that's really why we're all here. And we went out to, like, for instance, me, when I went to my circle of friends and I said, hey, I've been looking into the moon landing. I know it's a weird topic, but it kind of seems kind of like
Yeah.
shady. And
I saw a
immediately
lot
they
of stuff.
responded
Yeah.
with, but
Yeah,
what
go
I'm
on, sorry.
saying is, like, for whatever reason, society was already set up to ridicule me. So
Yeah.
anything else that I've ever brought up, everyone's like, oh, you're so intellectual, you're this or that. You think about things outside the
Yeah.
box and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. When I said that about the moon, I lost all of those social relationships because they
Yeah.
immediately went to,
Yeah.
oh, so what, are you a flat earther or something? And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, I don't even know what that means. I'm just following information.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we've been
yeah.
strawman with this model, this flat earth model that no one here even agrees or adheres to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where my frustration comes from, because like when he says, where's your evidence? How do you validate that? How can that not be upsetting? Because I'm saying, well, I don't have a
Yeah.
claim. I'm talking about this specific claim and how there's no validation for it.
Yeah. Well, I think you're in your position, and I mean, you do you, and you're doing well. I mean, you're doing fine. But I would say being challenged for evidence is probably the healthiest position to be in, because then you'll have to question what you believe, and you'll have to find more information that either affirms or changes your position, and it's a healthier process,
So Domino,
That's beautiful.
let's
Real quick, sorry,
yeah,
real quick. That's
go ahead.
so beautiful. I just want to
Yeah,
say how beautiful that is. If you realize, like, for example, the other guy, I was trying to get to information, and
Yeah,
he
but
was
there was emotional, man.
dragging
The
it
whole
into this debate.
conversation, and he
But
was
what I'm
good. Like he was keeping
what
it. He
I'm
was
saying,
keeping it clean.
he was. But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is, people don't like, if I tell you there's no curvature for the Earth and that the geometry is all wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I would expect somebody to say, what do you mean by that? Can you give me clarity on that? That seems like a serious claim to make.
Yeah.
What's your evidence for what you're saying? You can't tell me that the thing that I believe I live on is not curving. That's absurd. If I live on a ball, how could someone be telling me, well, there's proof that there's no curvature? Like, me as a new person if I was new, I'd say, why are you saying that specifically? Like, I need information from you, because I need to know why you exist and why you're saying what you're saying. He's saying, why don't maps work? Which is a question given to everyone by YouTube algorithms. That's the. I mean, that's not a real question.
Yeah.
Because the map is not the map is not a snapshot of the land. Everybody knows that.
True.
Yeah, I have a,
But
I have a
anyway,
question.
sorry,
Domino.
Roger. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go for it,
I have a small question. So, can we agree that the Earth presents itself as a flat, level, non-rotating Earth to everyone?
Agree on that.
Can we agree on that? Right. So when
agree.
you
when
you and I walk outside our doors, right? You only observe the Earth as flat, non-rotating.
That's scale. I mean,
Right,
that's perspective and scale.
I'm not talking about scale. I'm just asking you. Can we agree that the Earth presents itself as flat, non-rotating?
No, it doesn't present itself.
Okay.
We can agree
how doesn't it not present itself?
We can probably, I could probably say, can we agree that we observe it from our perspective as flat and non-rotating because of our scale with respect to the Earth?
That's what I asked, right? I'm not asking
No, it's different.
How is it not?
There's a difference.
You know,
yeah, Roger, there's a difference in what you're saying and what I'm saying. There's a slight difference.
So
there's no difference. There's
no
a belief
difference.
in a difference.
No,
It's
I'll
an
put it differently. I'll put it
experience,
differently.
right?
Because what you're saying adds the justification for why, like, because it's already set up in your mind.
Right.
You're bracing against just saying, well, this is what I experienced, but you're already giving the justification for why that's your experience.
Right.
No,
So
I see what you
only
mean. I see what you mean. But if someone came out that was blind, they wouldn't see an Earth. They wouldn't. They wouldn't have that observation.
They wouldn't feel it moving, and they would have the circular canals in their ears, right, to detect that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Roger. My bad.
I don't know why you're being so contrarian, or maybe
I'm so sorry.
I'm using that word wrongly, but I only asked you, can we agree that you and I experience the Earth as flat, non-rotating? I didn't ask you about why it was.
You said if it presents itself.
Okay, experience.
Yeah. Experience, I agree with. Yes.
Okay.
We experience. That's our perspective.
Excellent. That's not what I asked. Excellent, right? So how did they ever prove to you, right? Empirically prove to you that the Earth is actually a ball with a radius of 3959 and that it is actually moving, right? So how did they do this to you? How did they present this to you? How did they show you that the Earth is actually a ball? Because you experience it as a flat, non-rotating Earth. Everybody does, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So how did they prove it to you?
Well, the same way that they proved that, actually, when they provide photos, videos, mathematical models, explanation of the solar system and the orbiting of the other planets, the sun, a whole array of these things, which seem to, on the surface at least, predict what will happen tomorrow.
No. Those are postdictions, right? So
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. It seemed to. I didn't say they do. I don't say they prove. I say they seem to, and they have connected those correlations and suggested that they are proof.
Suggested, right? So again,
which is why I'm here. I wouldn't be here if that wasn't something that I'm happy to have challenged. There were.
And that's why we looked into the model, right? That's why we looked into the model.
And Roger,
come to the conclusion.
So the histories of people traversing the globe, going around the Earth, traveling from one point around to the other, from different directions, ending up in the same spot.
Yeah, that would be
these
the
are
same
testimonies.
Would be the same as a flat plane. Right, you use a compass to navigate, and it will always correct for north. So going west and east will be a circle, even on the globe.
But I've gone from Europe to the west coast of the US, and then from there off to Australia, and then I've gone from Australia the other way around to Europe.
Aren't you begging the question?
What's that?
You said you don't indulge in fallacies. Well, aren't you begging the question?
In what way?
Well, you said, haven't people gone around the Earth? So essentially, you're already saying, well, the sphere exists. Aren't they going around it?
Anyway, thank you.
I said that's testimony. I said that's testimony.
But I'm saying that's your response to has it been measured? The response is a logical fallacy. But what I'm saying, it doesn't
I see what you
matter
mean. I see
where
what
it
you
comes
mean.
from.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's proof that the Earth is round. That's not my
And
argument.
I'm not putting it on you either. Don't worry.
No. Roger was asking me how have they impressed that on us as a worldview, as a model, as how things are? And I said, well, from these testimonies, from these photos, from these histories, from these claims. That's how they've done it. I didn't say that that proves anything, and that's not my argument for a globe Earth or a flat Earth. I'm just saying that that's how they've convinced people like me that that's how the world is.
Yeah, Domino, what actually is happening is these people are traveling in a circle. Just think about it for a second. The compass points to the north and continually updates as you go in a giant circle.
The compass points to the north and continually updates. What do you mean by continually updates?
As you're going in a circle, it updates to the north. You're still traveling west. You're going to go in a whole big circle because it keeps pointing to the north. You're always navigating via your compass.
Right, I see the picture. So we're talking about a disc.
No, I'm not talking about any discs. I'm just talking about how a compass works. The thing that you're using to navigate by to go in a big circle and assume you're going around the globe.
Okay, so disc is a term that describes a two-dimensional shape, which is what is shown in the GIF that Radwin has just posted.
So I don't think that you think that we think that we live on a 2D Earth.
No,
right?
no, not at all. I'm just talking about it as a model, as something to explain. So you're talking about traveling around the Earth means
I'm talking about how a compass works, buddy. Don't try to red herring and obfuscate.
Hey, do you want to watch your tone a little bit? I'm being respectful. I don't appreciate this shit from you. You're no one to me.
You're not addressing the issue that I raised.
You're no one to me. I've been respectful until now. You watch your tone. We got that?
No, you don't get the tone police me, buddy.
Thanks. See you later.
Hello. There we go. So had to go. Once it got just pudged just a little bit, had to go.
But he's right though. I mean, this is what I say all the time. I don't want to be a hypocrite because at the same time, I mean, I would have damn near cursed out the other one. But but the point is, like, you know, it seems like at least he was engaging in the information. There really is no need to go there. You know, I mean, you guys can do what you want. I'm not trying to.
Elijah.
But what did Dre say? What did Dre say? It wasn't something that was like really rude or anything. He was just pointing out the fact that the gentleman was using a fallacy.
Yeah, but I get it. All right, whatever.
Elijah, I appreciate what you're doing, and I apologize earlier for if I came in too hot. I know I came in late, and I should avoid doing that until I listen a little bit further. But I like your demeanor, Elijah, in dealing with people like this. I really do. I
mean, I'm not saying, you know, you can't be you. Like it's also cool to be. It's for example, QE. It's not cool. Okay, people also like that, right? So I'm not saying, hey, you have to be this or be that. I'm just assessing that the dude already asks, you know, to keep it amicable. And not only that, but he's been amicable. Hasn't really interrupted, really. And you know, I would give that person, I would afford them the respect not to talk to them like I have disdain. And I have disdain for many people in this conversation.
Don't forget as well that you guys did really good. I listened to the whole conversation, but don't forget he was also with a foot out the door. He said like 20 minutes ago that he had to go, and you know, a lot of people was trying to address him, but he came here earlier and spoke to Roger and to me for a little bit, and he was like I don't know, a little kind of in the bad tone side of things. That he was complaining about the tone just now, but he had that tone earlier. But Elijah, you did a really good work with the other young kid earlier, and with this guy. It was a pleasant conversation, even though the earlier one wasn't understanding what you were trying to say about the radius and the geometry of the ball. But you guys did really good, so good job.
Yeah, like I appreciate how you're talking to him. I listened to it; it was cool. But he had his high horse. He thought he was not being fallacious like he claimed, but then he made a bunch of fallacies, and I simply pointed out a single point that should be pretty obvious, that the compasses work via magnetic north and they orient to the north. But
you know
he didn't want to
something,
address that.
Trace, that was
Sorry?
similar to the guy earlier. I think in their minds they never thought about this in the first place. Just now, when you guys explain it to them, they're picturing this way of flying on an airplane above a flat plane. It sounded to me that this is almost the first time this was ever pictured in their minds in this sense, because people always thinking they're flying over the ball, and that's the only way they've been thinking about it. And now that you guys explain it, they kind of get it in
Yeah,
a
I just don't like the
flat model, whatever.
implications. I don't like the implications and claims about me having disdain just because people don't understand the tones of my voice. That's just crazy.
Yeah, my bad. Because that was me that used that, and I I'm sorry. Okay, there's nothing I can say other than I apologize. Because as I was talking, I was stuttering because what I'm saying. I don't reserve that judgment for you. Like I want you to speak up more. I like how you communicate with these people. I like the information that you give. Um, and sometimes I'm on the what do you call it, EQ side, where I'm just like mad emotional. Maybe because I've had an interaction with a family member who turned Glober on me, and I'm like, well, shit. Maybe these aren't agents. Maybe there's really some puzzle that I have to mentally, you know, go through to have their mind uncrack. I don't know. So I apologize for
Oh, it's all good.
yeah. I'm sorry.
I have no hard feelings. Uh, I really appreciate how well you did the good cop there. He needed a little bit of bad cop just to get him off all these fallacies and starting to think straight. And I would have liked you to just come in and handhold him and just push me away. Because when I come in as a bad cop, that's because they have started going really fallacious into sophistry, and I just don't want to listen to that anymore. Someone needs to put the foot down so that they can pull it back and be like, okay, I'm not gonna word it in a fallacious manner. I'd rather listen to Elijah and talk to Elijah amicably about this. You get me?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a
But
decent
I'll check
conversation,
my
guys. Don't put yourself down.
I'll check myself because I seem to have interrupted specifically you in these particular instances, and I don't like it. And so I like it's my bad.
Dude, if you just just think about it this way. If you just tell me, Drace, can you tone it down a little bit? I'm gonna talk to him. If you do it like that, and I'm telling you to do it, so you know that it's okay. So I know that you're not being a dick. You're just you want to pull it back with a soft hand, and I've already done the hard hand. So I get it. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, man. Much love.
What happened? Some drama early in the morning?
Not well. No, we had one kid that he wasn't really engaging any of the points, and that's the kind of person that I'm suspicious of. So like the more questions I ask, the more direct and stern I'll be, because they're not answering direct questions, and it's like you need to answer these questions or tell me that you're incapable, so that I can move on, because I don't want this to turn into a toxic conversation, when I could just say, well, you know what, I can leave you where you are, you can leave me where I'm at. That's fine, because we're not actually exchanging information. Like I've told you 1 + 1 is